Today I was at EVO 2025 in Las Vegas, and yes, I did get a chance to play the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection game. We'll get back to that in just a second. But if you like content like this, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Now, I also got an interview with Digital Eclipse, and I will post that in just a second. Hear the full version of the interview, and a lot of questions were answered. So make sure you stay to the end so you can get all the questions you had answered. Now, at EVO, there's plenty to do, tons of fighting games. I love personally the free arcade, and obviously this year they had pinball, but every fighting game and matches and tournament play, so much to do here. I personally really wanted to see the Digital Eclipse booth with Atari and go over the Mortal Kombat collection. Being a huge Mortal Kombat fan, I just wanted to talk to them and get some more information on the Legacy Collection. Now, there was more info produced today that talked about different packages, collectible packages that you can get. I'll leave a link in the description to an article that explains more about those. I'll also leave a link in the description to Next Gen Nostalgia Gaming, who goes over those collector editions packages. But just know there is basically a premium collector's kit as well as a deluxe collector's kit that you can pre-order from August 1st to August 31st. Now let's jump into the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. On display at EVO was one game in the collection. It was Mortal Kombat Trilogy, which is the PlayStation port. And what I can tell you about this is it's basically the same game as PlayStation, except for a couple minor things, as well as one major thing. The load times have been drastically reduced. You're going to be very happy with that when you're playing this port on this collection. And if you're a Shang Tsung player, you're going to notice the load times when you change into another character have also been drastically reduced. As for the UI, there was no UI available to see. I backed out of the Switch 2 menu, nothing there except a MK Trilogy icon that loaded right to the game. Now here's a quick demonstration of some load time changes, and then we'll get to the interview.
So usually on the screen you would select 3 characters that you would be able to switch into, so it just starts in memory. We didn't do any of that. All the characters are available, but okay, more than that, and then no loading times whatsoever. First time this has ever happened for this game unless you play on like PC. So this version is, we're trying to make it the ultimate version of Trilogy, and that is like a big step along the way.
All right, I'm here with Steven from Digital Eclipse. We have a ton of questions about the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collections. We're going to get some answers from them the best we can. One of the most important things is the release date. There's been some leaks about September 30th. We also know that we can order some of the collections of the games, the deluxe collection, early in August. What can you tell us about the release date? Can you give us a specific date?
Yeah, right now we can only announce that it's fall, but we will be announcing it very soon. So stay tuned. We'll definitely, we won't be hanging for very long. But yeah, for right now it's fall, and we're trying to get as early as we possibly can to get in the hands of people as we can.
Okay, so September 30th, not out of the question. That is.
It is definitely not out of the question. It is within fall, so that is a great way of putting it. It is within fall.
Okay. Let's talk about the collection, the packages that you can buy that just got leaked today.
Sure.
Will those be available? Will you receive your collection package on day one? Or will you have to get maybe the digital version in order to play it on day one?
Yeah, it's going to be a digital release first, and it's really because we're working on with our physical partners on getting everything set up. We're still trying to find out a good release date. We hopefully won't be keeping people waiting very long, but all that stuff is kind of in motion right now.
Okay. Can you go over the list of games? Any new? We know today that Trilogy that we've confirmed that it's the PlayStation port.
Yes,
can you give us a list of other games that are on it?
Yeah, so the big thing for us is we're trying to get as many versions of the games that we can into this, and that includes like all the console games. So to everybody watching this already kind of has an idea of what that is, but it's going to be Mortal Kombat 92. So that is going to be arcade, Super Nintendo, Genesis, Game Gear, and Game Boy versions of that game.
Okay.
Mortal Kombat 2, arcade, Super Nintendo, Genesis, 32X, and Game Boy versions of those games. Mortal Kombat 3, arcade, Super Nintendo, Genesis. Ultimate is going to just be arcade and Super Nintendo. And then we have Trilogy for PlayStation that we're announcing this weekend. And then Mortal Kombat 4 for just the arcade, but the arcade one is kind of like the holy grail. This can't even be emulated anywhere. Being able to bring this to people is like actually amazing for us.
Arcade is better in my eyes for Mortal Kombat 4. Okay, let's talk about the FPS running on the arcade versions. You know it's an odd 54 FPS.
Yeah,
how are you emulating that?
56.8, I believe, or like 54.7 is the number. So we are trying to hit the emulation speed of that, but it's really difficult. We can't do like that frame rate. We're going to break everybody's CDs. We are applying a solution which will allow us to get very close to that. And so it should have the exact feel for what the arcades were. We're running it through a bunch of testing, trying to make sure that our application is actually working really well. Right now we put it through NetherRealm, and they think that it feels like pretty accurate. So if they are saying that it's in a good spot, then like we're going to keep trying to push forward on that.
Okay, what about cross-play between the platforms for online play?
Yeah, like I'll set a little bit of expectations where it's just like we're probably not going to have it at launch, mainly because there's a lot of certification stuff that you have to do with platforms to get that done. It is something that we definitely want to do. Like it is very high because it fits our profile of what we're trying to do with our game, which is try to get you connected with your friends as easy as possible, no matter what they're on, and enjoy this game the way that you used to enjoy it.
Okay, so not at launch, possibly.
Yeah, I would say not at launch, but it is like literally the next thing on our list that we want to try to look into on getting ready to go. And that really is just us doing the work on getting it through platforms.
Okay, can you tell us about the lobby a little bit, about the ranking, about casual play, maybe spectator mode for individuals? How many people in a lobby can you build? Anything you can give us on the online lobby?
So what I'll say is that we can't announce it just yet. We're working through the details and we're still trying to figure out exactly what we can and can't do. But I can give you the vibe of what we're trying to approach. And realistically, we looked at this era and we're trying to stay very true to the arcade era. And we know that what's really important is getting friends sitting around a TV, having a bunch of people standing at an arcade machine. We really want to do lobbies where we want to do them very accurate and like appropriate for these times so that we're paying proper homage to what these games were. And so that is kind of like the basis of what we're targeting. You can extrapolate kind of from whatever you want from that, but that is kind of like our guide point for what we're trying to accomplish.
Talking about arcade play and using an arcade joystick or accessories, will there be any arcade joysticks that come out, fight sticks specifically for this game that people can use instead of a controller?
So we don't have anything peripheral-wise that is currently planned, but that isn't to say like we couldn't somewhere in the future. I will leave that open for right now, but right now there isn't any plans. But we do have a lot of ways where you should be able to set up your own joystick and customize the controls. So if you wanted to have run button on your thumb or block on the middle buttons, you should be fully capable of doing that. We'll have it set up so that all that works across all of the games that you possibly can. Really, we want to make sure that you're just set up to play this game the way that you want to play it.
Okay. Going back to the online lobby play, do you feel like you'll have features where it'll show ping, wired versus non-wired players?
Yeah. We're working on the wireless player stuff. We'll see if we can get that in by release. But we are showing connection strength, which is really important.
What about location, where players are?
Yeah, you're going to be able to set your location, and then all that's kind of handled through our back-end platform. So we're trying to make sure that we're showing that displayed, like how much we want to surface the players, like how much we just want to keep them so they never see it. Those are the details that we're working through right now.
What about post DLC or DLC content, maybe adding new games afterwards? What do you have for that?
So if you ever pay attention to any of our other Digital Eclipse products, we tend to come out with a lot of the games that come out late, like things that we weren't able to fit in, then something falls through and it's like, oh, we can add them in. There are a lot of things that we definitely want to add into this game, but it's ultimately going to depend on the success of it. The more and more that this game is like able to sell and more people are excited by it, the more that we'll be able to put into this game.
Okay. Just the last question on the games and the games list.
Yeah.
Any chance of getting PS2, GameCube games, giving my people a hint of Deadly Alliance, anything? Can we go that high, or is it?
So the interesting thing about where we're positioned as a company is that we're really into game preservation, right? The games that you are playing are exactly the same versions that you would be playing on your console. And with that, emulation has like a tax for what it can actually accomplish. And so the soft answer is like, I don't think that we'll be able to fully be able to do those things as emulation. And at what point does that become game preservation or game remake? we don't want to make games that are not authentic to what people remember. That's like really antithetical to how we operate at Digital Eclipse. So there's a lot of things that need to happen, but what I'd like to tell people is to not like stop asking for it. Just because it's not possible now, this game doesn't happen unless people are like constantly asking for it, right? And so, yes, we probably won't be able to get to a lot of games that people want. There's no way that we can have a perfect game that's going to please everybody. That would be every Mortal Kombat from 1 all the way to 1. And that's just not going to happen at this point. But always keep asking. Like, this game was made out of the sheer willpower of a community that loves video games and constantly wants to see them. So make your voice heard. Let people know the games that you feel like need to be in here. We're listening and we're paying attention. You just got to make a good enough case, and then hopefully we'll get there someday.
Well, this is great. Thank you for the interview, and we look forward to the release very soon.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
All right.